Hey guys, AJ from Char here. What I want to go over today is cleaning some boots. So this is a set of work boots I was wearing this weekend to do some projects around the house. And they're pretty dirty, and I've used these for a lot of things. So I've had these boots for close to a year now. And I'm going to go over some of the steps to get these boots looking as new as possible. And not only is that going to be good for the look of the boot, but more importantly, it's going to be good for the life of the boot. So it's going to make these boots last me longer, prevent the leather from cracking and tearing and other things that tend to deteriorate or downgrade the boot and make it, to the point where you really don't want to wear them anymore. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the laces. I could leave them in, but honestly, they just kind of get in the way, and it's a lot easier to clean here inside the tongue area, get all that cleaned up too with the laces out of the way. So step one, take out the laces. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a stiff bristle brush. I have this, stiff, I think it's like a horse brush or something. This is just like a bathroom scrubber, but it doesn't really matter as long as it's a stiff bristle brush, and that's what I'm gonna use to get a lot of the major dirt off of the surface before anything else. All right, so the next step I'm gonna do on these boots is I'm gonna use a leather cleaner. So this time around, I'm using Bic 1 leather cleaner. It's an aggressive cleaner, but it's gonna get a lot of that ingrained dirt out of the boot. So I'm just gonna shake up the bottle, and we just use a little bit at a time. This is a leather cleaning pad. I'm just gonna apply some to that, and I'm just gonna work it into the boot. Next thing I'm going to do is condition the leather. So this bottle looks a lot like the last one, but this is actually a leather conditioner. This is Bic 4 leather conditioner. Not the only one on the market, it's just one that we sell here, and it's really effective. So again, I'm just going to shake it up, and I actually have the same applicator. I'm just going to flip over and use the other side. And again, I'm putting like maybe a quarter size amount on here, and I can use more as I go. I don't want to be like gobbing it on there. So same process, I'm just going to rub that into the leather, making sure not to leave any pooling up, just kind of evenly spread it, working my way around. All right, so now these boots are conditioned. So we brushed off all the major dirt, we cleaned them up with a leather cleaner, we applied a leather conditioner. If you want, you can stop at this point. Because these are work boots, because I do expect to be out in the elements with them, I am going to choose to apply one final thing. In this case, I'm going to do Mink oil. This is just a all-around water repellent. It's going to seal the surface of the leather. You can use Mink oil. There's wax-based products. There's like spray-on silicone type of stuff. Just depends. Some manufacturers recommend one thing or the other. Honestly, none of them are really going to hurt your boots as long as it's, for the right type of leather. In this case, I'm going to use Mink oil. It's easy to apply. It kind of looks like Vaseline. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that just with my hands. All right, so I'm getting a little bit of this on my fingers. Again, not a whole lot, because what I can do is I can always apply more. It's just annoying to have to wipe excess off. So I like to just start with a little bit and work it in. And as you can see, there's a big gob here, so I'm going to spread that out. And you can do this with a rag, you can do this with your fingers, it doesn't matter. I like my fingers because I feel like I can really get it into the seams, and sometimes I think the warmth from your body temperature and that friction kind of helps set it into the leather. I don't know if there's any truth to that part, but can't hurt. One more reason I like to do a final treatment with something like Mink oil or some type of wax is for that water repellency that it gives the leather. That's not only going to prevent water from soaking through, but it's also going to prevent dirt and debris or dust from getting into the pores of the leather, which can make the leather wear down more quickly. So two benefits. One, Obviously the comfort factor of not having water seeping through your boots if you're in wet conditions, but two, the benefit to your boots is it's gonna make them last longer because those little microparticles, dust, stuff like that isn't gonna act like sandpaper wearing the leather down from inside. The water repellency thing is pretty cool. It's like waxing your car. So you're gonna see I can dump this water on and it's gonna bead right off. Pretty neat. So that's one of the benefits of using something like this versus like a spray silicone. Something like a mink oil or wax, it's gonna like literally roll right off the surface. So yeah, definitely a good idea to protect your boots with some kind of waterproofing treatment at the end of the cleaning process. As you can see, this is the one I cleaned. This one's next on deck, but I'll spare you watching that whole video. But you can see there's a huge difference. So this does look like a beat up old pair of work boots. These, aside from some creases and stuff from breaking in, look brand new. And I can tell you, I've had these boots for a while. I have worn them pretty hard. You can even see the wear, you know, how much I've worn them down. So this is not a brand new pair of boots that I just happened to get dirty this weekend. This is a pair of boots that I use for a lot of different projects. I'm pretty hard on them. You know, all this dust you're seeing here, that's all concrete dust. I was cutting a lot of concrete this weekend, and that stuff is not nice to boots. So it's extra important for me, if I want these to last, to take good care of them and clean them up every once in a while. So just do a rundown quick of, again, what I used, what the steps were. So step one, we used our stiff bristle brush to get all the major surface dirt off. Step two, I used a leather cleaner. In this case, it was Bic Moore's Bic 1 to clean the dirt and dust out of the pores of the leather. Because I used a pretty aggressive cleaner, the next step was to use a leather conditioner. So this is Bic Moore's Bic 4, which is a conditioner, and that's gonna put the moisture back in the leather to keep it nice and supple. And then final step I did on these was I applied mink oil. That's a sealant. It's sort of like waxing your car. It's gonna seal the surface pores of the leather so that dirt and water and stuff doesn't seep into the leather, and that's gonna prolong the time I need to go between now and my next cleaning. So get the dirt off, clean the leather up, condition it, seal it. And that's it, pretty simple. Definitely worthwhile if you have a nice pair of boots that you wanna make last for a long time.